foggy, cool, drippy. This type of weather used to not happen in San Francisco until July, August, and September. Now it's almost all year round. The U.S. announces a major deal on liquefied natural gas to the EU. Russia supplies 40% of the EU's gas needs. The new gas will supply an extra 15 billion cubic meters of gas to the EU. The aim is for the U.S. and international partners to provide about 50 billion cubic meters per year to the EU. This will cut reliance on Russia's gas. The problem with the LNG, it uses tremendous amounts of energy and emits a lot of greenhouse gases. The LNG industry is as bad for the climate as coal. Now, when you're making liquefied natural gas, the problem here is that unfortunately you have to waste 1/2 of the gas to turn it into LNG, and then you ship it somewhere, and when you get to the other place you have to waste half of what's left, and it goes into the atmosphere. So it's a tremendous waste of gas, and it's a horrible amount of methane and CO2 into the atmosphere, and there's nothing that can be done about it. You can't change natural gas into LNG without wasting half of it and then half of it again. So you end up with using 1/4 of the original amount of gas that you had, and it turns it into methane. So if you want to know where a lot of this methane in our atmosphere is coming from, it's coming from us changing gas into LNG. The problem is that Biden and the rest of the EU countries aren't talking about alternatives like solar or wind or hydro in a different way. Not hydro making dams across rivers, but a slight bit of diversion of the water, some water diversion, and then turn that diversion into a generating force. There's all kinds of things that humans can do to avoid using natural gas and other things. One thing I'm going to do is going to be switching over to an electric scooter. That way because I live in a city, I live within 11 miles of anything I need, and I can get everything I need on an electric scooter. Dualtron makes a scooter called Victor, which is the one I'm interested in. It's about $2,700 to $2,600, cheaper than a used car, and it can go up to 60 miles and can have a speed of 50 miles an hour. Though that's not safe, and I would never go that fast on an electric scooter. 18 to 25 miles an hour is about the max I'd go, and that's all I need to go. I live in a city, so I get a backpack, put on my protective gear, and go get my supplies. And it's about 3 cents per mile of electric use instead of the amount that you pay for gasoline in a car. Now, Dualtron is the best scooter made, and it has a very good reliability. You can get about 1,000 miles before you have to change the brakes, and about 2,000 miles before you have to do major maintenance on it. I think we have a vehicle coming. Yeah, we do. Okay, well, let's forget this idea. So there's all kinds of things we can do in our lives to keep from using fossil fuels as much, and using an electric scooter for localized transportation, and you just wear a backpack and you're off. So hopefully this will save me in the long run a lot of money, and money these days is hard to come by, isn't it? I appreciate all the ups, the downs, the new subscribers and the comments on our last video. They were good. I know that subject wasn't a good one because people don't want to hear about my last video. They can't stand talking about it. And the only other thing I have to talk about is the amount of violence we're seeing around the world. We're seeing more and more violence. They had the Emits the other day here in California, US, and they had a moment of silence against the violence in the Ukraine. But then we saw violence on the stage, and it was such a disgusting bit of violence, and I just don't understand why people, I guess people are getting so pissed with each other because of the amount of humans there are around the world. And we're just getting irritated with each other. So we do violence to each other and think nothing of it while we have a moment of silence against violence. Yeah, that's typical, huh?